Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be talking about Gold Rush because I have had a few comments on my videos. I have had some DMs as well. I've had seen some comments on my Discord about, the next Gold Rush. When's the Gold Rush coming? Why hasn't there been a Gold Rush? Well, there's some information on this, of course. So first of all, what is a Gold Rush? Some of you may not know what a Gold Rush is. Basically, there were events which rewarded you for doing pulls on the Gold Mythic Recruits wheel. These were generally seen as premium events, but free-to-play could maybe get a couple of the tiers. It was basically mission events, where each mission would be like pull 10,000, pull 20,000, so on and so forth. And a lot of the time it would go up to like 50,000. There was the odd one that went up to 75,000 as well. There was another one that went up much higher, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And basically it rewarded you for pulling on this wheel. Now, this wheel, honestly, is not very good at all. Not very good at all. And it's mainly just because of how many characters are in here and how many characters a lot of people have already got. And the majority of people would want the characters in that 10%, the lower, the harder one to get. So like 1 in every 10 pulls, you're likely to get one of those characters, and then you have to get one of the characters that you don't have already. So it can take, months, years to get a particular character that you want. So for instance, if you wanted Kenny here, it could take you thousands of pulls to actually get that, because if you do 1,000 pulls, 100 of those is likely to be premier characters, but then there's at least 50 premier characters right now, so obviously you're very unlikely to get 5 of one particular character there, and that's just the way it goes. So I did mention there was another Gold Rush that happened that was slightly higher, and it was the last Gold Rush we had, which was the one for the Season 1 Mythic Trial. It involved Clementine Shards, and we can read through it. It finished on the 16th of May. That's a very important date, just keep that in mind. It finished on the 16th of May, and we'll go through the Gold Rush missions. This will tear all the way down to the bottom. It is doing 150 pulls on this wheel, and you will get back, the rewards, the final rewards. It was very top heavy, as you can see. You've got 1,000 Clem Shards from this event, where 700 of them were in the last 2 missions. So it was not accessible at all. Even if it was like 75 pulls, it would be very inaccessible. But this was 150 pulls, 150,000 Gold Mythic tokens. What I have right now, and I haven't pulled for a very long time. I've done like 10 to 20 pulls at the end of the month just for my video. That's it. I haven't done any major pulls for a while. I haven't done any major pulls for a while at all. Now, we have had other Gold Rushes in the past, which were pretty well received. And I've talked about Gold Rushes at length on my stream in terms of how they could, produce these, how they could do it consistently, because it did start to just kind of slow down. There's no consistency in the Gold Rush events ever. There's not much consistency in the game, let's be honest. From event to event, everything changes. Like, things don't remain the same, and it's just to obviously make it so it's harder for you to understand what you need to do. And that's basically how this game, it works when it comes to that sort of thing. But when it came to the Gold Rushes, it didn't seem to make much sense, because they were generally quite simplistic. It was just kind of weird. It was like they were trying to find that, special recipe, and the idea that they've come up with, the special recipe that they've come up with is no more Gold Rushes, basically. Let's not do any more Gold Rushes. Because if I show you a post that was put on a Discord, you can see it says, with the high demand for the Gold Rush events from the community, we thought it important to share our plans so players knew that the next Gold Rush event is currently planned for after the conclusion of Season 4 War of Champions. Now, that doesn't actually really narrow it down. We just know that it's going to be a minimum of 2 months from this post. But do remember that date that I told you before with the Clementine Gold Rush? It finished on the 16th, and then on the 17th they announced there's not going to be another one for 2 months. So it wasn't like they announced the Gold Rush and said, hey, there's a Gold Rush starting today, just FYI, this is the last one for a while. It was after it they did that. So a lot of people didn't pull on this Gold Rush because it just really wasn't worth it. It was so top heavy. But a lot of people potentially would have maybe done like their 50 pulls, because why hold on to 50 pulls for another 2 months just to get nothing, basically? Nothing out of it at all. Now, one thing I want to look at when it comes to this actual FAQ post itself is the wording, because I've realized something within this that is kind of like, honestly, sad, if I'm honest. Let's read through the first part. It says, with the high demand for the Gold Rush events from the community. So this is basically acknowledgement that the community really wants gold rushes, right? This is an acknowledgement that community likes gold rushes, wants them to happen more often, and this can be for various reasons. Like I said, the value of the gold mythic wheel really isn't that good, whereas gold rushes at least give something where it's guaranteed value. You know exactly what you're gonna get for your pulls. I can pull 100 times on the gold mythic wheel and get 100 bits, you know, all dupes, nothing. That basically means no rewards. Whereas the gold rush can show me what the rewards I'm going to get. If I pull 100 times, I can get, you know, certain things. I can maybe get this crate with a 20% chance at a particular character in there that I maybe like, but it's more guarantees there. More guarantees for sure. Now, that's the acknowledgement that the community wants more gold rushes. There's high demand. And then it just basically goes on to say, even though you want these gold rushes and it's high demand, we're not doing these anymore. I don't see how these, like, how does that, like, join together? If the community has a high demand for something, surely you should be giving them that high demand, you know? Surely that's going to make you make money, and honestly. Surely that's going to make you money. If you structure the gold rushes correctly, surely that's going to make you some money in the game. And I've talked about this quite a lot on my stream, where I think they're probably, the best way of doing it was there should have been 2 gold rushes a month. One was presented as a much more accessible gold rush. Let's just say like 25, 30 pulls, 35 pulls, you know, reasonably decent. But someone who is free to play knew that they could potentially finish this and the reward at the end could be something very basic. It doesn't even have to be a character, but it could be an RNG box or a choice box that basically gave them a 90% character of characters that are like 3 months older and before. So for instance, all the actual event characters released, not just like the conquest characters that originally came out in the game, which are in their 90%. I'm talking about like Steve, Old Man Gregor, Isabel, and these sort of characters, right? Because the free-to-play need these characters. I've got all these at LB3. I've had a reasonable amount of pulls on the gold mythic wheel, so it's not so much of a problem for me. That would probably be another gold bit for me, but at least I know they'll be trying. You know, they're trying to help a lot. You know, a lot of the base level community. And then you could have the secondary, which was more of a premium one, and it could be double the pool. So let's say the first one was 30 to 35, the next one could be 60 to 70, and then basically the crate at the end of that would be a 10% character, one 10% character from, again, 3 months before that gold rush came out, and then like, let's say the last 5 or 6 before that. So for instance, right now, I think 3 months ago would pretty much be NWO, right? It could be like the NWO crate. So like these characters are quite old. If you had them already, you're going to be happy with it. If it's more premium, this is going to be aimed at people that potentially didn't get their last character. It doesn't have to be a choice box. It could be RNG. And I'm talking about one character here. And all that is guaranteeing is a 3-month-old 10% pull on the gold mythic wheel. That's it. Like, it isn't really like doing much else. If I got but just a particular batch of characters and the NWO characters, right? I don't think that would be too much to ask for. One crate like that, just to guarantee that you're going to get a 10% character of a certain group. Is that too crazy? I don't think so. I think a choice would be great, but I'm not even asking for that. And the answer is honestly no, because obviously the rest of the post in this FAQ goes on to say, we thought it important to share our plans so that players knew that the next Gold Rush event is currently planned for after the conclusion of Season 4 War of Champions. Now that is happening in early July, and that doesn't really even narrow down when the Gold Rush is going to happen. When is that Gold Rush going to happen? Is that going to happen in August? Is it going to happen in like September? Is it going to happen like the day after War of Champions? Most likely not. It'll probably be at least a week or so, right? Maybe a month. There's not enough information on these things, honestly. And this is the only thing that makes pulling on Gold Rush worth it. Before the last War of Champions, the Discord was just literally on fire because people had Gold Mythic tokens and there was no Gold Rush. And Gold Rush is honestly the only time it's worth to pull on the Gold Mythic wheel because the Gold Mythic wheel is trash. Like, it's just terrible. And I'm talking about 6 months ago, I did 50 pulls and got 49 dupes. That's 6 months ago. The only way I can get less dupes is if I engage less in events and I don't buy the battle pass. Like, it's actually like promoting me not to do these things. It's so weird. The gold mythic wheel is just so weird. And I like I said, I see these comments all the time. It's acknowledged by Scopely that the gold rushes are in high demand by the community, but it just isn't enough. It isn't enough. They're not going to give the community what they kind of want, And at the same time, Scopely would make money because there would be people who would definitely be willing to spend, you know, a little bit of money on 5 pulls here and there just to get that last one, especially if they actually organized it and made it consistent, you know? Because they've left it for so long and because they leave so much of the game for so long, sure, people are going to have some mad stock now of gold mythic tokens. But that's on them, not on the community, you know? It's like Hordes. Hordes haven't happened for ages. People like got 200 cans. Does that mean the first event needs to be like, you have to spend 150 cans? It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be punished for the lack of like content effectively that is being provided. And that's just the way it feels like it's always happening. And it's just, like with Gold Rush, it's just annoying because I want to pull my pulls, but I know I'm going to get so many dupes from that. So I need something that's going to be, like I've talked about in offers and stuff here before. If I look at an offer and I see the worst reward in it, I'm just going, that's the reward, because that's the most likely the thing I'm going to get, right? And the most likely thing I'm going to get out of a pull on the Gold Mythic World is a dupe. It's just as simple as that. So, you know, I've got 158 pulls, I think, at the moment. And that's 158 gil bits that I can't even use either, you know? That will take me, what, 6 months to turn back into Gold Mythic tokens? You see, it's just like, it's just all messed up at the moment. It's all messed up in the Gold Mythic stuff. It kind of seems like abandoned, and like a proper rug pull style at the moment. And, yeah, it sucks. And I think a lot of people are feeling the same way about Gold Mythic tokens. And, you know, hopefully there's something that's going to make the Gold Mythic pulls actually worth doing consistently. Like on a consistent basis. They could just do like a monthly pull. Like they could do it like arenas. Use tickets. Pull Gold Mythic tokens and you just go along in the bottom and just get small rewards for doing these things. I don't know, it's just like, I don't know. Kind of my wit's end with this stuff. Like, how can I see this and they don't, and I don't know. But anyway, guys, that's the kind of ideas and thoughts around Gold Rush. Is kind of like absolutely mess at the moment. But do give me your thoughts on Gold Rush. What would you like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. That is the end of my video, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.